the roll call necessary going out of closed session?
I think it's probably the best practice. You're done. That's what the lawyers. Yeah. No, safe and sorry, that kind of thing. Turn the AC back on.
You open the window, that helps. Open the window. It got cold there, and then it got, you know, when you have boilers, you can't switch it off and on.
Yeah, that's the only bad part of the boilers is.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got till 10 o'clock. Okay. Approve Quick Star, 1156 class. Okay, we've got a motion. We've got support, all in favor? Opposed?
Sorry to interrupt.
Consider. We're at the RAGBRAI.
We'll pass the laser around. This way. We approve Quick Star?
Good.
All right.
Ooh, that made a difference in here. A lot cooler.
Feels a lot better.
My apologies, gentlemen. This is one thing that slipped my mind. I meant to email these out for you to read before the meeting. A month ago, the city reached out to me by email, just seeing if the county would be interested in supporting their interest or efforts to request being a stop for RAGBRAI. I said, I don't know. I thought it may affect the sheriff. It may affect secondary roads. So I reached out to them. Rochelle offered the suggestion that we'll probably have additional beer permits requested. That
So it would be an overnight
just a
stop.
factor. I believe that's what they're seeking. Yes, I've not attended their meeting, but so our engineer and our sheriff each offered their thoughts on it, and just wanted to have the board consider the request by the city of Sibley to support their efforts to
Let's go around.
participate in it. That I'm not aware of. I don't know that it's been determined yet. I'm sure they make a selection of the stops and then figure it out.
He says 8 months will be under construction.
I didn't see a date when this would be. They're usually in July, aren't they?
Later part of July, around the 20th something.
Kevin's $100.
He's certainly not quickly in favor of it. I think there are ways to address his concerns, but
We see we don't have the manpower to host an overnight.
there are outside entities that you could retain to do that, but it would just take a commitment. I'm not arguing for it or against, it's just, yeah, within our current staff, I understand his concerns and I support him in not wanting to tax our employees that greatly. Then I don't know if we enter conversations with the city covering that additional need, or, I mean, there are ways to address it, I would say, but it's worth
I will say,
giving the answer, or give the city an answer one way or the other, I guess.
I will say years ago when I was on the fire department, when they came and stayed here that night, we paid for half a water truck with what we made on the spaghetti.
That was my only comment. They've been through Malvern several times and the money made was.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I know people don't like it.
I know I've heard from other counties that the engineers said no way would they ever let them come through their county again. It's too cumbersome and problematic. Yeah, there are concerns to it, but we've got a city considering it. And I know a lot of the public I've heard from, oh, that'd be great to have them through again and all that.
It's a lot of work.
There are certainly two sides.
They don't know if they're just applying, is that what I understand? Or
And I had this prior to our last meeting in October. I should have probably discussed it then. They may have even officially submitted their application. Sandra, do you know? Yeah, so they did make the decision, but I'm sure they would still take confident supporting it.
Go half. Well, what do you guys think?
What are your thoughts, engineer?
Well, as I relayed to Jason, we're gonna have some of the major east-west corridors closed, asphalt roadways, so it'd be interesting to see how they try to thread the needle around our paving projects. Other than that, my experience with these types of things, in Tucson, we had a similar event. I assume they bring their own traffic control and signage and hire off-duty officers to manage intersections or not? It's just a free-for-all out there?
I don't think they do.
Well, we certainly don't have enough barricades to close off intersections and things like that, so it would be a strain on us if we tried to do that. But if it's more of a free-for-all, then
That's the way it's been in the
you just
past.
stay out of their way for the
Don't
day.
highway patrol come in though?
I never remember them shutting down
Maybe some, but I don't think they've ever shut down a
I assume
road.
they stay off the state highways and try to stay on the county blacktops.
Yeah. Then they come in and your blacktops have to be up to certain standards, and if there's a crack in the road like that, you gotta fix it.
Yeah, but how do those other roads look?
Yeah, it's an expense to the county.
I don't know that our roads would meet their criteria. Certainly not some of the old ones. If you don't fix the roads to their satisfaction,
My opinion is they're just sending that out as a way to cover their end for potential litigation. We identified what needed to be done, now it's on them. So it does present concerns that certainly increased potential for claims, regardless of what you do.
What, should we ask Bill what the insurance company thinks?
I didn't think that, I didn't reach out to them.
I can tell you what the insurance company's gonna say.
What are they gonna say? I hope you have deep pockets.
Yeah, probably.
I shared with them both your responses, and I'm not trying to.
Have you done it overnight here? We've done it overnight here before.
Yeah, it was.
It's been years ago though.
Yeah,
I bet
a
20
long time
plus.
ago.
Kevin was still young at that time.
It was in the 90s.
It was the early nineties, yeah,
30 years.
yeah.
Earlier, I'd say early 80s and then late 90s, I thought, but
Yeah, they stayed overnight once, and I think they just went through town once.
I wasn't trying to put words in your mouth. I know you identified how we're not suited to cover the needs
Yeah,
within our own
yeah.
department. Are you opposed to obtaining outside support for those needs?
You have to.
I mean, are you, you don't want them here no matter what, or as long as we got additional support?
Staying overnight would be a total pain in the butt. Now, just going through, we can handle that, but the staying overnight part is what's becoming very difficult. Because there's just, you can't police it, there's way too many people.
I don't remember, did we have much trouble last time we went through, as far as the police side of it?
A lot of stolen bicycles, and it's all drums.
Hmm.
No, I shouldn't say drums. It's a lot of people drinking, and you know what happens when people start drinking. There's lots of fights and vandalisms and things like that. So yeah, it becomes very hard to police when they're staying
How do you do that with private security?
here. I don't even know if there's private. I mean, you can hire private security, but you'd have to reach out to the Rag Bri committee and see how they do it with other communities. especially one our size, how we do it when, somebody stays overnight, or, because, yeah, it's, a community our size, to have that many people in town overnight, it becomes very difficult.
Is there a campground they'd be sticking these people at, or?
Well, the last time they were here, they stuck them everywhere. They were on the football field, they were on the school grounds, they were,
They reach out to private residences.
yeah, private residences,
And golf course had a bunch.
yeah, the golf course had a bunch, yeah.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, there were tents and bicycles everywhere.
What do you guys think?
As I said, we wanted to pick up the extra costs for the extra security.
Would neighboring counties, sheriffs, would they, is that what people, what you'd reach out
Yeah,
to?
you'd have to reach out and ask for volunteers, and, you know, of course, some of them will volunteer, some of them want to get paid. So, that's the way it's been done in the past in the area, you know, you just reach out and say, we got rag going through, or staying overnight. Who wants to come to work?
Have they reached out to you guys?
Yes,
Have they?
yeah, they have, so.
They asked, there's a question about the route. I'm not sure how the process works, but I'm guessing they choose which cities that,
I think-
and then determine a route.
Yeah, I think the rag committee does all that.
But they'd have to know which roads we gotta open, because we got all that road construction scheduled for next
Yeah,
year.
that's true.
And the representative from the city that reached out to me, I forwarded on the comments, so they'd be aware. But
What are your thoughts?
I think there are certainly headaches that I don't like the thought of having to deal with or consider. The fact that we have a community wanting to proceed with this, I think they can be addressed and overcome. As much as I have my own personal dislike for RAGBRAI and its founding entity, I think there is potential for many entities and places within the county to benefit from it. I'll make a motion to identify a letter of support on behalf of the county.
Okay, we've got a motion of support. We have support for the support.
I'll support it.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Okay. Could we ask like the city to help step up for if we have to hire a bunch of law enforcement?
Yeah, you can always ask them. I have no idea how that works, but,
Ask and find out.
yeah.
Okay.
They're not staying in the county, they're staying in town.
Yeah.
That town's in our county.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Next one. Approved to reappoint Board of Supervisors Compensation Board Representative Tom Witzman and Karen Simon.
I would rather not. I'd like to give a couple new people a crack at that.
We were informed over a month ago, or around a month ago, that it would be vacant. It's less than a month away. I reached out to those that have represented us and they were willing to serve again. So I'll make a motion to do the reappointment of those two individuals.
I don't think anybody asked you to reach out to
We're appointing people to represent us.
them. You took that upon yourself for the entire.
Right,
board.
and who did you reach out to appoint on our behalf?
I haven't reached out to anybody.
Okay, so how are we gonna get appointments if we don't have someone reach out to people?
We don't have to have it done today.
Well, we've got a motion. We have support. I'll support that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. You guys gonna find somebody to?
Yep.
Okay.
So you identified the concern with the petition, so only people that voted in a certain way are eligible?
No, I just identified my concern with the individuals involved, Mr. Wietzma, and some of the things that were said about the 3 supervisors on this board. And I think I would rather have somebody that was more supportive of the board as a whole.
Their history on the compensation board has been supportive of the board.
And I already said what I needed to say.
But you didn't say it at the meeting, you sent an email to all of us and
I'm
didn't
saying it
identify those
now.
things here. Okay.
So, yes, I would like someone that was more supportive of the entire board.
Okay. Consider approve amendment to develop agreement with DAC Holding, Land Holding LLC. Thought we had that done already.
You approved it, they did the actual agreement.
The attorneys have provided us with the actual document and process to accomplish that.
Okay.
I would just note that the fees and expenses will just need, I think we'll need the auditor or someone to reach out to Dorsey and Whitney to identify the reasonable costs associated with the actual amendment. We floated a number of ideas and they did legwork that,
Ehlers.
I'm sorry, dealers and, yeah, went back too far.
Like,
So what is the sunset?
well, you just know 5 years or $130,000.
Because that email that Chantry sent out, for maybe it was you, wanted to know when that district ended.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got that finally determined, I believe.
When does it end?
I think in 2029, 2030.
This would end around 30,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
area
It was
would
longer.
have 20 years till like
Yeah.
33 or 34.
Because right now they're at
providing this
80.
because they're content that this does not extend beyond. I'll make a motion for the approval.
Okay, we got a motion to this.
I need a question. In the emails we got last week, is it ending? I'm a little confused on, is the old one ending and we're starting new again? Or
No,
does it
we're
go
just,
on
it's
to
just,
the-
we're just continuing what we already have in place. You
But I
just,
but I thought with those emails, it said
I
something
know.
about we had to end it.
that was one of the options to do, but the board decided not to do that. So you're just extending it out another 5 years or $130,000, right? That's fine. I mean, there was several options that we could have done. We could have ended it and then start the process again, or we could just extend it out. And the board chose
I
to
guess I
extend it out.
wasn't understanding if we did end it. If we were gonna continue with this.
Right, that's what I did too.
Right.
Well, I was gonna end and then,
Oh, no, that's not how I interpret that.
I don't have those emails with me, but
Those emails were questioning if the amendment needed to be done this year, so it would be impacted by the December 1 TIF certification. Or if next year would be too late. It was Ehlers and Cooney doing their due diligence to make sure that
well, I,
they're providing us with what we previously approved in a workable way. I think,
Just thought we should be getting around $130,000.
and we've had that discussion before and we voted on it. This is the 130 that was originally in the agreement. Within the 10 years that was originally approved, they did not attain the 130. A previous vote at this board approved extending the 10-year time frame for 5 years, but not exceeding the 130 that was originally approved.
Since they already burned up 86 of it, is that what it was? It's just the
Something like
Yeah, we just, I think last fiscal year, June 30th, I think we paid 80-some thousand to them. So we got, what, 50,000 left? And we made another
But
10
yeah,
or 13,000 payment,
15 to 20,000 of that would have been paid before the end of the 10 years anyway.
So what's left out of that 130?
Well, the June 30 was like 50,000. We made another payment to them in October. Yeah, it was a 13, I can't remember, 10 or 13,000 we paid them. I don't remember. We paid them last time.
so you're good. about a 30 or 35,000 extension.
So why doesn't it read that way?
The attorneys advised that this would be the simplest approach to accomplish that without having to do some of the other things identified, removing it from the area, restarting the process, and accomplishing. So if the dollar amount doesn't change and you're simply extending the time period within the 20 years that was originally available, that this was what they're recommending and providing to us as a way to accomplish.
Well, it's probably my fault, I just was in the meeting, so tonight, I should assume. I thought the old one was ending when we were starting the new 5 years, so it would actually be,
Just extending it.
I mean, that was an option. You
We
guys
had the
just
discussion.
discussed that.
yeah, maybe it's my fault, I must have misunderstood.
Okay, any more questions, comments?
This doesn't make any mention of what's already been used up. So it
No, it
reads
doesn't.
like you're doing another round of 130.
That's, I guess
That's
that's
not the
way I took
intent.
it.
No.
Show me in there where it says that that's how we're doing it.
I think the payments,
This is extension.
the fourth whereas says the payment is not expected to reach 130,000 pursuant to the original payment schedule, and accordingly, the county and company have agreed to extend. The 130 doesn't get increased, just the time.
For June 1 or 30 that it's done. So it must have been 25 is when it would have been done before.
Well, I mean, there's 20 years on that TIF, but original agreement is we offered to give them half of their taxes over 10 years.
Yeah.
So we're extending it to the 15.
And if half exceeded 130,000, they wouldn't have gotten more than the 130.
No, not more
even
than
though it's-
130. All the
On
agreement.
August 21, we discussed it in options. On September 12th, we had a motion and support, and it passed to proceed with Ehlers and Cooney recommendation to extend the agreement to 5 years, but not to exceed 130,000 in tax rebate for DAC land holdings.
But is that for this extended period? This doesn't explain that we've already handed out all the rest of that money. That's my issue with the amendment. Because the way it reads here, you could go ahead and do another 130.
I guess that's not the way
There's
the
no
extension.
mention, you're
Just-
extending it, but there's no mention of what's already been used up. I mean, it really should say that it's just gonna be another 44,000.
Or whatever.
I guess I don't know. That's not the way I read it. But the way I look at it, it's just an extension to 2030. Has payments reached 130. So whatever's been done in the past, that's fine. So you just go up to the 130. So, what do we like?
We've approved using Ehlers and Cooney to address this issue. We've approved the extension and not exceeding the original amount. They've provided us the documentation and the paperwork to accomplish that. I'm confident that this is the step that would be needed to be taken, and I ask that my motion be considered or reconsidered.
Okay, you've got the motion. We have support. What's that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
10 o'clock.
adjourn and enter into joint district number 3.
We don't have to do anything with Dickinson on this anymore,
No,
right?
because you guys approved last time that we were gonna be the sole on that.
We just gotta notify them with minutes or something.
I've been keeping them copied on email, so they're aware, but generally, since it's only Osceola County affected by the project, they're kept informed, but.
They're still in the loop then.
Yeah, yep.
May I ask concerning that? We had approval for what this document presents. Why are we now casting a vote that denies what the board has previously approved? Without motion to reconsider the previous action, or,
Let's talk about that when we get back after there, 10 o'clock.
okay, then I'll make a motion to recess from this meeting and enter into drainage district.
Okay. All in favor?
Right?
Opposed? Okay. Geez, you got a whole crew here today?
Just me and Kyle, yeah. Okay, well, we'll get started then and keep things moving for you. Morning, everyone. Hopefully you remember Kyle when he was here earlier this summer with Ivan.